That was a lot of decision that you need to make today. But whatever decision that you make, I'm glad you make one that will come here. So it's good to see every one of you in the house, even this afternoon. And you actually made a very good decision because it's raining now, that you are now in the shelter. Ha ha ha. Now, I'm going to talk to you about decision making. And this is what it is about. You will averagely, researcher says that you make an average of 70 decisions a day. What to eat, whether you want to wake up or not, even this morning. Then how you going to go to school, whether you want to go to school, what you want to eat, where you want to do, what you want to dress. You make average about 70 decisions a day. Hold on. I can take out my mask. Okay, now you make about 70 decisions every day, and that's about 25,000 decisions a year. And that's about, if you live about 70 years, that makes you'll make about 1.7 million decisions in your whole entire lifetime. And trust me, I'm about at least double or triple your age with everybody sitting here. I know you think I look young. You think I probably look like 30, 40, but I'm not. Okay, I'm going to reach 50 this year. Okay, so I make a lot of decisions, and I know that going from here, at this stage of your life, going forward, you're going to even make more decisions. If you think that those decisions that you made in the past, for the last few years, has been a lot, wait till you see after this. You're going to make a lot more, like, who am I going to marry? Should I choose this boy or this boy? Then where am I going to live? Do I buy this house or this house? So those decisions are very big, major decisions. What Joey says, studies is important, but you're going to make many, many life decisions, big, major decisions in your life, okay, going forward. So get ready. Someone says this, that life is a sum of all our choices. Who you are all the choices put together into one. That's you. When we put all the 1,788,500 choices together, that is who you are. That is who you are. So this man says this: the history of free men, people like you and me, we are free. The history of man is never written by chance. You are not here by chance. If you think that I just happen to just wake up and I just close my eyes and take any bus and then I don't know why I'm sitting here. If you think that is by chance, that is not. Okay, show me a hand. Who is here by chance? That actually you didn't plan to come here, but I don't know why you appeared here today. And then now you're sitting in front of me and then hearing this man talking. No, nobody, right? Nobody, right? You make a choice to come here. So this is what he says. All man is never written by chance. It's by the choice you make. Your choice. Okay? Now this afternoon, I'm going to share with you this verse. This verse. This is a very interesting verse that's said by a very important person. But also want to tell you that why did I choose this verse? Because in this verse, there is a choice that you need to make. Because we talk about this. Everything is a choice. And every choice leads you to a path of what you will become, who you will become, what you will be doing, and actually, ultimately, the decision of where you will spend eternity. So look at these words by Jesus and says this. He says this in John chapter 8, verse 12. For those who are very familiar with the Bible, this is what is found in the Bible. He says this. Jesus says, I am the light of the world. Whoever, I add this word, whoever chooses to follow me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. Now, let me slowly unpack this whole entire verses for you. Now, first, let me ask you, why did Jesus say this word, I am the light of the world? What does light do? What does Jesus, Jesus can use a lot of example, a lot of illustration, but he used this word, I am the light of the world. Now, we may not understand the importance of light, because now everywhere you go, you'll see light. It's just automatically, you think it's automatically turned on for you. At 7 o'clock, your whole entire HDB block or where you stay, the new neighborhood, all the street light will just suddenly, for no reason, will just turn on, right? Yeah, so you don't understand the importance of light. But you must remember, and let me bring you to the story. 2,000 years ago, can you imagine 2,000 years ago where Edison has not invented this thing called light bulb and electricity? 2,000 years ago, when you know that you are hitting about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, you know it's going to get dark. You will start to go and find candles, go and find fire, and start lighting up the whole entire house or whatever. Because you know when 7 o'clock hit, yeah, that's it. That's it. If you don't have light, you're going to just globe in the dark. Okay, so Jesus is coming to tell you that I am the light. So in the context that light is very important. So now we ask ourselves, what does light do? I'm the light of the world. Light us in the right direction. Try walking without a light, you know what will happen to you. You're going to hit the wall, you're going to trip over something. Light gives us the right direction. If you know that there's 3 exits to go out, you know, how do you know which door to take? Now, the light will guide us through the right direction. How many of you I know we have not been taking the aeroplane for the last 2 years. And I know some of you are like very itchy and like have this desperate, like want to take the plane again, please, you know. So when you're on the plane, if you still can remember, okay, 2 years ago, if you still can remember when you're on the plane, what do they tell you? Okay, if anything happens to the plane, you know, if smoke gets out and you cannot see anything, just bend down, look at the light on the floor and just follow the light and the light will bring you to the right exit, right? Do you remember or you all don't remember? You're just basically checking through the menu, see what movie is on the plane, and then getting ready, and then and some of you just don't care, just want to go and sleep. Okay, so that's what you do. The light will give us the right direction. Follow the light, will give us to the right direction. And so, now, sheep need light to move. They need the light at night from the moon and the stars for direction. I know nowadays you don't understand what this is about. You see the guy holding this little instrument there? This is called a sextant. Okay, they use this to navigate the ship and the boat. I know now a lot of ship has GPS. I know they use a lot of computer stuff to navigate the ship. But I can assure you, even with modern technology, if you are a sailor, if you have been on board a ship, if you have ever chance to go to the place where they steer the ship, everyone will know how to use one of these little ancient stuff. Because just in case the whole entire ship goes blackout, there's no electricity, the GPS is not powered up, they have to use this thing to navigate through the water. You know how vast the sea is. There's nothing in the ocean. You know, and they have to use this to find their direction and carry on moving in their direction. So now even with modern, equipment equipping the ship, they all know how to use this, and they use the stars, the moon, the buoy, the beacon, the lighthouse, and all this other stuff to help them guide from point A to point B. So light keeps us in the right direction. What does light do? Second thing, light keeps us out of danger. Now, I can't find a night picture, okay, so I put a day one there. Because if I find a dark night picture, this thing will be just pitch black. Then you can't see anything. Now, sheep needs light to keep themselves out of a lot of danger. You know the biggest one now, the sheep that is stuck in the middle? Now overnight, everybody is now a capable navigators. Now you're all expert and professional in maritime navigation. So now everybody know what does a ship look like, how does a ship get stuck in the middle of the channel like that and blocking everybody. So now your Alibaba, your AliExpress shopping all not stuck. No, not true. Our AliExpress shopping doesn't stuck there one. Because those are for the Europe and the US people buying from China. China comes this way, okay? So your goods are not stuck, okay? So people tell you, oh, your online shopping things are stuck. No, it's not stuck. It doesn't affect us. Okay, so now you understand. Something must have happened to the ship going through the channel. I don't want to say what happened. I let the investigators say, but there's always a light on the left and on the right. So if your ship is keep moving in the middle of the left and right light like this guy, the red and the green, if you move in the center of this both light, your ship actually should be okay. Seriously, I don't want to speculate what happened to the big ship, okay? But anyway, light keep us out of trouble. It prevents us from getting stuck like the big ship now, or even crash into another boat. So it keeps us out of danger. Now you think with me for a second. Now, as much as the ship needs light to navigate, to give direction, to keep the ship afloat, and to keep it to safety, we too actually need light to give us the same thing, to keep us in the right direction, and also to keep us out of danger. So when Jesus says this word, I am the light of the world, he is actually saying to you and me that he is able to give us, to point us, and to give us, point us to the right direction, and also to keep us out of danger. And that's what basically he's saying. I can point you to the right path, and I can keep you out of danger. Now, this leads us to the next question. This leads us to the next sentence. Now, whosoever follows me will not walk in darkness. Now, you must understand this English word called whosoever. This whosoever is an open invitation. It means it's an invitation to anyone and everyone. Jesus says, I don't care if you are rich or you are poor, or you are strong or you are weak, or you are smart or you are not so smart. Whether you are handsome or you are pretty or you are not so good looking, it doesn't matter. The word here is whosoever. Our local slang, if I want to use English, is called, don't say I bo jio you, okay? Jesus is saying, don't say I bo jio, I jio you now. Whoever follows me, whoever chooses to follow me. But this whoever doesn't actually mean automatically everybody, if you understand what I mean. If I'm going to put in a WhatsApp chat and say, hey, who wants to come today to go, I'm going to this place for this party and or whatever, what we're going to do. Who is coming? Who wants to join me? It doesn't mean everybody will join. It's an invitation open to anybody. If you want to take it on, you take it on. But only to those who will receive it. It means that the receiver of this message must respond. You say, I'm coming. I'm going. No, I'm not going today. I'm not free. You have to respond. An invitation like this, whoever, doesn't mean automatically everybody is invited. It means that you have to respond, okay? So the individual must choose to say, yes, you make a decision now, right? Yes or no, going or not going, and for this case, follow or not to follow. Now, you do not need a PhD, trust me, to understand this statement. The statement is very simple. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness. You don't need a PhD. You don't need a degree to understand and to interpret this verse. It's a very right in your face kind of answer. It's like teacher in your exam trying to tell you highlight, underline, bold, color if you can, draw a lot of star around it because this will come out in the exam. And then you still look at it. Is this important? Then you ask the next question, teacher, will come out for exam or not? Okay, this is a very drop-off hint to you. It's a very clear forward, very straightforward. Whoever follows me, but just in case you don't understand, again, this statement, let me explain to you. It means if you follow him, you will not walk in darkness. If you don't follow him, you will walk in darkness. Simple. Nothing complicated. It's not a mystery. It's a very straightforward English. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness. If you follow, you will not walk in darkness. If you don't follow, you will walk in darkness. And so simple, right? So the question then one we ask ourselves is, now, if I'm walking in darkness and somebody has the light, just follow lah. Right? Just follow, no brainer. Just if he has a light and I don't know where I'm going, just follow. Right? But you must understand, this passage itself talks about we as a finite being. You know what's finite? We are limited in our perspective. We are limited in our view. We are limited in our strength. We are limited in our resources. We are limited in our time, in our strength, in everything. We are finite. We do not know the way. Tell me who knows what is going to happen tonight. You only guess that you're having dinner. You just guess only. You actually do not know what is going to happen tonight. Who is going to tell me what is going to happen tomorrow? I just show you this one thing, that we are finite. We have limited perspective. We cannot see anything further than now. You don't even know what's going to happen in half an hour's time. I ask you a question. Do you think the rain will stop when you leave this place? Yes, maybe, yeah. Say yes, no, maybe. We should play this game instead of just, yeah, let's try, I guess. No. So you do not know exactly what is going to happen to you. We are finite. We are limited perspective and view of things. We are limited. But God says, whoever follows me will not walk in darkness. He's telling you, I know the way. I actually know what's going to happen tonight. I actually know what's going to happen tomorrow. If Jesus were to be standing here and playing all these games, I tell you, he will give you all the right answer. He will know exactly what is and how this is going to pan out. Jesus will know what are you going to have for dinner. It's not only if you are going to have dinner. Jesus can tell you what are you going to have for dinner and what are you going to have for breakfast and what are you going to have for dinner again tomorrow. He knows so much about each and every one of us that he's telling you, you follow me, won't go wrong one. But if you don't follow me, you will go wrong. Now, you say, Pastor Andrew, so simple, right? If he knows everything, then just follow lah. Now, there's a problem. There is a problem. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about. Now, we all need him to find our way in the darkness. But it's not that easy to say, oh, then just come to him and just follow, lor. Because of this word called sin. This is what blocks us from going to God. It's a no-brainer. He has the light. He knows where to go. I just follow. But there is a barrier between, as much as I want to follow, I can't because of this thing called sin. This is a barrier. I know many of you now sitting in your chair now like very uncomfortable with this word called sin. It is very loaded today, and a lot of people really, really don't like to talk about this subject called sin. What does it mean to say we sin? What do you mean to say that? What's your definition of sin? It means that we have done something wrong. It means that we may have said something wrong. It means that we may have seen something wrong or think of something wrong, things that are not correct, things that are not pure, things that are not perfect. Now, I ask here this question. Don't raise your hand. Please don't raise your hand. How many of you here know that today you have not been good or you have not been perfect? You have not been good for the last, I don't know, if you're sitting here 15 years old, you're sitting here 20 years, for the last 15, 20 years of your life, have you been perfect? If I were to ask you to take a report book and then now evaluate your own life, out of 1, which is, I hope nobody here is 0 and 1, okay? Then up all the way to 100, and 100 is like full point. Your life has been perfect. Now, would you mark yourself? Would you mark yourself 100 points for yourself for the way you live your life? That means you have never done anything wrong, say anything wrong, see anything wrong, think anything wrong, you know? Have you? Now, if we are honest with ourselves, we tell ourselves, actually, we will not give ourselves 100 points. If we ourselves have failed our own standard, now can you imagine with me, if God has a standard of perfection, where do you think we stand in that standard? I think we have failed even more miserably. By definition, sin is, and then if it's not bad news enough, then let me tell you something else. If you think that is bad enough, I tell you, sin is even more than just doing wrong things. It's much more than just doing wrong things. Somebody defines sin as this. It's any feelings, any thought, any speech or action that comes from a heart that does not treasure God over any other things. And at the bottom of sin, the root of all sinning is such a heart that prefers anything above God, a heart that does not treasure God over all other people or all other things. That is the definition of sin. In essence, in all this whole paragraph, let me summarize for you. Sin means basically not choosing God. It means turning away and walking away from God. Now you think with me, if God says that he is the light, that he knows the way, and that if you trust him, if you believe in him, if you follow him, all things will be good. Okay, if you follow him, if he is the center of all things that is good, everything that's good, everything that's moral, everything that is perfect, God is all those things. Now, according to this definition of sin, if he chooses to walk away, in this definition, walk away from God, what are we actually walking away? We are actually walking away from life, from all things good. This is what it means. If God is the source of good things, like life, like joy, like happiness, like peace, and everything comes from God, but because of sin, we always choose to walk away from Him. You are walking away from the source of life. You are walking away from happiness. You are walking away from joy. We are walking away from peace, or from peace. Answer me then, what is going to happen to each and every one of us? There's only one conclusion, and the conclusion is we're all going to die. That's the truth. Because sin will lead us to death. And in that statement of the darkness, here the darkness is not just talking about the problems here on this earth now. It also talks about the life that is to come. It's darkness. Because if God says that He is the source of light, He is the light, He is the source of life, and if we walk away, we are walking away from life, and we are walking away from the light. Now you say to me, Pastor Andrew, very easy, or then just turn around, just what we've got lah. Right? Let me illustrate with you with this picture. Now, if you are drowning in the water, we ask ourselves this one simple question: can you save yourself? I don't care if you have a life-saving cert, or you have a goal in your swimming, or even if you are Olympic gold medalist. Ask yourself this one question: if you are drowning, can you save yourself? You can't. You can't. You don't believe me? You read newspaper of people drowning. Their friends, their parents, anybody who witness and say, no, he can swim. He's a good swimmer. He's a good swimmer. Then the person drowns. When a person is drowning, no one, he himself, he can't save himself. He actually needs a person, an outside person, to jump in and to save. That's the only way to save a drowning person. Your swimming skills that you learn in the public swimming pool, at Budok's heartbeat, all those cannot save yourself when you are drowning. You need, in order to save a drowning man, you need another person who is not drowning to save you. And this is what Jesus came to do. He is the only person who is outside of our situation and our life, who can come and rescue us from drowning. And He can rescue us from dying. And He did that sometimes by dying on our behalf. I was just trying very hard to explain yesterday, because yesterday was Good Friday. You know, yesterday was Good Friday. It wasn't a Good Friday because it was school holiday, but it was Good Friday for a different other reason. My children was asking me, my children is only now P1. I have a pair of twins, which is P1. Then I have the oldest one, which is only P4. Many of you here are smarter than them already. They're asking me, Papa, why does Jesus have to die? So I give an illustration. I said, imagine you did something wrong in class, and your teacher now send you to the principal office. And when you go to the principal office, you're going to get the caning. I'm not sure you still get caning, but my year can cane one, you know. The principal will make an announcement to the whole school, and then the whole school will gather in the hall, and then he will take out the cane and cane you in front of everybody, and then now you become popular. And then everybody now know who are you. You're on the top list, but not the academic. Yeah, so now you have this reputation. No, last time can one. I know now cannot probably. No, but that's. I said, so you know you're going to go to the principal office, you're going to get a cane. But halfway while you're walking through to the principal office, then this person come along and say, come, I go with you to see the principal. And then this person go in the principal office together with you, and then the principal say, I'm going to cane you. Then this person say, I will take the cane on your behalf. Then you say, crazy, why got people do that? Okay, never mind. I'm just giving you a story. So I was just trying, can you imagine, I'm just trying to paint a story to a P1. I'm trying to explain to him. So I say, okay, so this guy come, so he say, okay. Then the principal say, okay, I agree, since you're going to take it on behalf of him, okay, you can go back to your teacher and tell your teacher, you have seen me, right? I'll cane this man. That's exactly what Jesus did to each and every one of us. Some people ask, why did God create hell? God didn't create hell. All of us were on the way there. This was a golden ticket to escape. You must understand, it wasn't a ticket to go. It was a ticket to escape. We were all destined going that direction. We were all making our way to the principal office. Somebody came along and said, let me take the cane for you. Why do we celebrate Good Friday? Like I said, We didn't celebrate Good Friday because it's a public holiday, and then, wow, it's public holiday, so it must be a good day, right? Because it shouldn't, actually think with me. If on a day that you killed somebody innocently, you accuse the person, you frame the person, whatever, and you kill a man innocently, would you call that day a very good day? You won't. You seriously won't. I mean, unless you really are terrible or evil or whatever . You won't call a day where an innocent man was killed, and then you call that, let's celebrate, let's have party, let's call this a good day. You won't do that. And that's exactly what's happening on Good Friday. Good Friday, an innocent man was falsely accused and sentenced to death for a crime that he didn't commit. It actually shouldn't be called a Good Friday. But why is it called a Good Friday? It's because it's called a Good Friday. Good Friday was yesterday. All Christians celebrated Good Friday yesterday. For the Christian, if you don't understand why you're celebrating Good Friday, please, you need to recap your story and your history again. We celebrated Good Friday yesterday. Today is Saturday. And why is Good Friday called Good Friday and not a terrible Friday? It's because of tomorrow. It's called this thing called Easter Sunday. Jesus died to pay our penalty on Good Friday, which was yesterday. Tomorrow is where the Christians celebrate Easter Sunday, where Jesus came back from life. It is called Good Friday because of Resurrection Sunday, or some people call it Easter Sunday. When Jesus was walking here on earth, in 2,000 years ago, walking on earth, communing and talking to people, he says that he is the life, he's the life, I am the life. Believe me, you will have life. Believe me, you have life. Believe me, and you have a lot of good things. Believe me, all things will come out well. Believe me, you'll go where after this life. He promised a lot of people a lot of things. And then suddenly he died. Now, a lot of things is gonna go through your head when a person promised you so many things and then he died. You're going to ask yourself this question: seriously, is he real? Seriously, can we trust him? This guy who used to promise so many things and then now he's not gone already, does that promise still stand? And then what happened? To the masses of the people who were there 2,000 years ago, this guy who promised life, promised everything, and then suddenly he died. And then these people now, all the people now around the world, now becoming very chaotic, wondering what's happening to this man who promised so many things, and then now he died. And then Jesus defeated death and come back 3 days later. God gave each and every one of us an ability to choose. Choice, choosing. We are free to make whatever choice we want to make in life. But let me highlight to you, but there's a catch. We are free to make the choices we want, any choice. But let me highlight to you something, but you are not free to choose the consequences of your choice. Every choice that we make comes with consequences. You can free to choose the choice, but you're not free to choose the consequences. It comes with the choice. It takes only a few seconds for you to make a decision, to make a choice. And most of the time, the choices that we make, maybe in the short moment, some have little consequences, but some have major consequences. Like if you marry the wrong person, you know what it means. I have made many choices in my life in the last 50 years. I keep wrong company when I was in primary school and secondary school. I really don't feel like studying. My PSLE has 1 red mark. I know some of you are like 4, 6, 6, 4. I can go all the way to 8 one. I have a F in one of my subjects in PSLE. And all the way through my secondary school, the report book has a lot of reds. Why I go to secondary school, then because I failed my PSLE, I go to a normal tech. Now they have a normal CAT and normal whatever. But last time don't have express or normal, so I went up to the normal. And I just choose any school I want. Because all I need to do, I also don't know what I'm doing, I'm just following people. The choices and friends that I keep. Failing my exam, really don't want to study. But then now you sit down here, you look at me, it's like, how can it be? How can it be? I tell you, if I have friends who like 20, 30 years ago, now looking at me, they all will fall off their chair. Because my teacher did that when I saw them about 10 years ago, and I introduced me, like, hi, oh, I remember you, I remember. You know how they remember me, and they don't remember me for the good things. Oh, I remember you, I remember you. Then, what are you doing now? I'm not a pastor of the church. I think everybody will fall off the chair. Like, you sure not? What happened to you? Yeah, no. You look at me now, you can't tell that I'm actually a very playful boy when I was growing up. But I made a choice. I made a choice to become a Christian in 1989. I made a choice to marry my wife in 1998. I made a choice to give up my job as a salesperson after 13 years in the sales company, in the sales job, doing okay, pretty well, not superstar, but also not hungry, well enough that I have a house and I have a car. And then I become a pastor in 2005. And now standing in front, looking very good, that you can't tell that what my life has been. All because of this verse. I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but have life. Now, light, other than just keeping us out of trouble and pointing us to the right direction, the light also gives life. Science Basic 101. I ask my P4 boys now. He now memorized it like a mantra, you know. What does living thing need? Sunlight, food, air, because science, they all repeat. So that's what they do. My boy knows. You know. You are all studying science. What does a living thing need? Now I add this Wi-Fi thing. I know. I just added this in. I know it's the first century, all the people will need this Wi-Fi. No Wi-Fi, they die. Okay? Suddenly all the telco all shut down, we all die. Immediately, it's like the Wi-Fi stop, we all... No, but true. I tell you, it's not Wi-Fi, really. I just put it there for fun, I know. But really, it's not Wi-Fi. If you don't have water, if you don't have food, if you don't have air, if you don't have sun, you are going to die. Light gives life. Remove the light from any plant, any living thing, the thing will die. Light will give life. This is exactly why I'm here today. Why am I standing here today? It's because of this thing called life. I'm enjoying the life that Jesus promised me. I'm here today because of what God has done for me and because I choose to follow Him. Jesus says this in John 10:10, of His promise, that He said the thief come to kill, to steal, and to destroy. But Jesus says, I come that they might have life and have it abundantly. Now the definition in abundant, the Greek definition of abundant is this whole thing about exceedingly, very highly, beyond measure, more, a quantity so abundant that is as to be considered more than what would one expect or anticipate. That is the definition of this word abundant. Jesus promised us a life that would far better than we could ever imagine. Not just in the present life, but also in the life to come. The question I ask of you as we look at this verse, Jesus says, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. Do you have this light? Do you have life? Take a seat first. I'm just going to finish what I have to say. I'm just going to end this whole service with a short story. These two men, one named Josh McDowell, the other man named Frank Morrison. Josh McDowell was a second-year college student who did not believe in God. He was pursuing a study in law and working towards not becoming a lawyer, but in a career, seeking a career in the politics. And when in school, he decided to want to write a paper that will examine the historical evidence of the Christian faith not to prove it, but to disprove it. Frank Morrison was an English journalist with a law degree. At first, he thought that the resurrection of Jesus, that means tomorrow when Christ rose again, that it was nothing more than just a fairy tale or whatever story. It's a man-made-up story. And he actually attempted to write a new version, a new story of how Jesus Christ's life comes to an end, removing everything that has anything to do with miracles. Well, George McDowell was converted to Christianity. And he says that as he digged deeper and examined deeper, he found only evidence for it, not against it. And then he subsequently enrolled in a Christian college. And then he wrote this book called Evidence That Demands a Verdict in 1972. And it is still printed today. Frank Morrison, when he studied all the facts of the case of Jesus, he has to change his mind at the end. He called the book, Who Moved My Stone? And the first chapter is significantly entitled, The Book That Was Refused to Be Written. In his first chapter, he has this statement. This book was refused to be written. It shows that the evidence that Morrison found for the resurrection of Christ, that Jesus came back from the dead, that it was so compelling that he has to change his book. He made a decision to change the book from an attack of the resurrection to the defense of it. What is my response today? What is our response today with regards to Christ's death yesterday and him rose from the dead tomorrow? With regards to all the promises that he said in the word, that if I follow him, that I will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. That promise fills me with hope. To know the hope of what? The hope that I can one day stand before this holy, perfect God, because all my sins are totally forgiven. Not in the life to come, but even now, present. That as I go through life with all the challenges and all the problems, that God will always hear and he will always answer. Our sister has shared, God never promised us a smooth life. God promised you a life that will be filled with challenges, but he promised you, I will be there with you. That is the hope I have. That this life here on earth is not the end. You will not understand because you are still in your 20s. I'm in my 50s. How many more years? 20? 30? 40? Nobody, very rare people reach to 100. Yeah, but our life here is, when we end all this, is this really coming to all, that just an end like that? But I believe because of what Jesus says, that life here is not the end, really. When I finally take my final breath and I close my eyes, this is not the end. So because it is not the end, then everything that I do today is meaningful. And it must count for eternity. And the biggest hope that I have is one day, when I finally breathe my last, that I'm going to go to heaven and meet all my friends and all my loved ones who have gone before me. I have friends who have passed on. But I know that there will be a great, grand reunion in heaven. If you think your Chinese New Year reunion, I know you not have been having it for the last 2 years, especially this year is worse. If you think your family reunion dinner is great, wait till you reach heaven. The reunion is unbelievable. And that is the hope that I have. You know, when Jesus died, he was buried in a tomb. And there was a stone that covers the tomb, the mouth of the tomb, so that nobody can get in and nobody can get out. But Jesus went in on Friday. Tomorrow, which is on a Sunday, this tomb, if you read your Bible, was rolled away like that. Do you know why it was rolled away? The angel rolled the stone away. If you read your Bible, the story, you know that the angel actually rolled the stone away. Now, do you know why the angel rolled this big stone away? It's a very heavy stone. If you read the story, people were walking to the stone and wondering, who on earth is going to roll this stone away so that we can go in and pay our respect and do whatever we want to do with Jesus' body? It's a very big stone. The angel rolled it away. Why did the angel roll it away? The angel didn't roll this stone away so that Jesus can walk out of the tomb. The angel rolled the stone away so that we can walk in and see that the tomb is empty and that he has rose again. Many has doubt. Me too, when I was before I became a Christian. I have doubted. I've even questioned, how can a dead man come back from life? And that year, 2,000 years ago, many people also don't believe. Because the first person who ran in and found an empty grave, ran back up and called all his friends, and then they think that the woman must be silly, sleeping, dreaming. But they don't believe that everybody start running to this tomb. And when they enter into the tomb and explore the tomb, their doubt, their disbelief become conviction and confidence. What about you? I've discovered this light. This light is Jesus. And true life can only come when they believe in Jesus. And as much as I have done that almost 30 years ago, and asked Jesus to come into my heart and chose what I said, to follow him. I chose to follow Jesus. And tonight, today, this afternoon, I also want to extend this invitation to the whosoever. Can I invite every one of us here to just close our eyes? Just to be still. Don't look around. Just between you. Just look within your heart. Now, if you hear this afternoon, and you think the message makes sense, and you want to also ask Jesus to come into your heart, I want you to follow. I'm going to pray a simple prayer. I'm going to pray a simple prayer to ask Jesus to come into your heart. And if you are one of those that somehow sitting here, the message makes sense, and now in your heart, your heart is just beating very fast and wondering, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Then the message is for you. Then I want to encourage you to say the prayer after me. And repeat this after me. And I want the rest of us who are believers to say this prayer together. Lord Jesus, I need you. Thank you for dying on the cross for my sin. I open the door of my life and trust you as my Savior and my Lord. Thank you for giving me my sin and giving me eternal life. To make me the kind of person that you want me to be. In Jesus' name. Now, if you have prayed that prayer today, I want to congratulate. And I want to invite you at the end of this service to either come up to me, I'll be standing here, or to tell the friend who invited you today, and tell the person and says that I have said the prayer in my heart just now when the pastor prayed. And so if that's you, congratulations. Welcome to the family of God. Can I invite everyone to stand? I'll close with this song, a song of invitation to ask you to come. Jesus is asking you, come to Him. Come follow Him.